Flora and Son is a movie about, it's sort of a love story actually between a mother and a son. And it's about their fractured relationship and how music sort of brings them together. The themes, I would say music, family. It's sort of a coming of age film for Max, but also for Flora in a strange way. It's about her trying to come to grips with being a mother and finally accepting that about herself and stepping into that role. I play Flora, and she is very flawed. She's kind of a wild child, never really grew out of her teenage years. Lots of partying, lots of booze. She has a 15-year-old son who, is also a little bit of a troublemaker, and they're more like a brother-sister kind of relationship than a typical mother and son. But throughout the course of the movie, she starts to really come out of herself and become the mother she didn't know she could be. At the start of the film, Flora is in a nightclub dancing, doing her best to woo a man. And she's sort of in her typical routine of, partying on the weekends and not doing much with her life. So yeah, she's sort of a mess, a mess, a wild child. That's what I like to say. Max is just like his mother, troublemaker, always getting into trouble. He's on probation. He's always doing the wrong thing, but he's never really been taught how to be anything else. But he's creative, and so is she. And when she starts to discover how creative she is, I think they connect on that level, and he starts to see her in a new way, like, oh, my mom is actually kind of cool, instead of she's just really annoying me. When Flora meets Jeff, she's very cynical. She's very Irish. She makes fun of him a lot. And he's much more earnest. He's very American, and but also very set in his ways. He sort of lived his life and settled into what it is, whereas she's sort of searching to become something or to find herself. So he kind of brings her on that journey and helps her discover different parts of herself and takes her out of her comfort zone and helps her realize that she's got a lot to give and a lot of worth and a lot of creativity in her. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is incredible, and I'm such a fan of him, and I always have been from Third Rock from the Sun ever since I was young. And he's just a veteran actor. He knows exactly what he's doing. And I'm so glad that he was cast, because those Zoom scenes were hard because you're on a computer and you're trying to create chemistry with someone that you've never really met. And he was just incredible about keeping it buoyant and fun and fresh. And he's also an incredible guitarist and a beautiful singer. I think he's like sort of shown a side to himself that nobody's seen before in this film. And yeah, we were very, very lucky to have him. I was made aware of the script because it had come through my agent, who's also John's agent and Jack's agent. And he was just saying, you've got to read it, it's amazing. And I ended up reading it, and it was 10 out of 10. It was incredible. He's amazing. I really loved working with him, and he knows this, and I told him I want to work with him again. But John is so impulsive in the best way possible. He's so creative, and it's so spontaneous and in the moment. And he has a way of, being very relaxed, but also sort of pushing the limits of the story on the day on set. So everyone feels like they're very involved. There's loads of questions. Everyone gets to sort of give their input. There were so many days we were all, hanging around Video Village, watching the scenes, and people were going, what do you think about this? Oh my God, what can we do here? It's just a very inclusive fun feeling. It's what movie making should be. And unfortunately, not a lot of the time it is. So he just kind of brings this fun energy to the set. And then he also involved me in the songwriting, and you know, he was like, I want you to write the song. Like, you come up with some lyrics, and I'm like, well, we'll get into the studio and we'll all write together. And it was just such a different process that I've ever had before. What I love about this movie is that it's really funny and really unique in its humor, but it is also really optimistic, and it has a big heart. And it's perfect 90 minutes. It's sort of like a classic film in its length and its storytelling. And I think people are responding to it because it's everything that you want in a film, and it's not it's not dark. It's authentic, but it's not, you know, depressing. It's got a beautiful happy ending, and I think when people sort of go on the journey, they're laughing, they're crying, but they end up feeling uplifted after, and that's what I'm really proud of.